Hello, welcome back to Golden Arrow. Last episode we finished chapter World 2 and started on World 3. So this episode we're going to continue that. This chapter I believe introduces the idea of arrows that point at each other and therefore balance on themselves. Yeah, like this one. Yep, okay. Medieval, you're on. Nice. Okay, so how should I get these arrows to their goal? It looks like I almost sort of want... Nah, I can't do that. Like, I want green to get on top of red. Why does purple exist? Well, purple exists to be a blockage. It's to be an obstacle. This block can't be freed because then you get this mess. So, what about something like that? Oh, no, that's not retrievable. But something like this feels okay. I'm just playing around for now. I realize that something has to be here, so either this red-green combo is already in place. Well, if it is, then what holds it up? Something needs to hold up the red from falling. Which either has to be a block, or something else. It could be purple. It could definitely be purple. Like, yeah, something like this could happen, I guess. Not quite like that. But it's almost like you sort of want this, followed by this. We get the block a little bit stuck in this case. This is bad. This basically... Well, this gets this block to the other side. I don't know how useful that would be. I never actually want to get the block into this hole here. Okay, so in terms of order of operations, what goes in first? If we know something has to hold up the red, and it's probably either going to be this block or this arrow, it probably is the block. Because the arrow has to be here. However, I could make it like this, right? Yes, because then I could replace and then push the entire setup upwards. Okay. Which therefore implies that it is possible... No, I know what to do. The vision is showing me things. Arrow here, purple arrow here. Which holds up this entire setup. Block here and me here. If I can push right or left by 2, that gets me to hold these two up while the purple arrow is pushed into this place. That's my vision. Which almost generally means like I want this sort of thing, but me on the right of that. Yeah, okay. But then the difficulty comes in getting the purple arrow to hold these two up. Because it almost feels like there must be something here to hold this set of arrows up first before I push over to the left, right? Okay. I can't do that because I can't pull this down anymore. Or I suppose something like this could be fine. It's very iffy. Yeah, I think it's iffy. I can't really move anything else anywhere else. Like the first step most likely looks like this. Although I can't be too sure that's the case. I want green to get up on top of this red, but like this looks really bad. Can I still get this block down? Maybe. I guess this would work to get the block down. Oop, that's not good. Although something like this makes sense. Ooh, makes less sense. But this would be fine. Yeah, in fact, this looks really good. Oh, I can hold this up. That looks like it's really good to hold this in position. But then my vision is ruined because my vision, yeah, this was supposed to be here. So, okay, in that case, I can never do that. Can I use you as a bridge first? Ooh, that looks great. I think that's it. The missing bridge was the green arrow. Nice. Okay. Much larger level here, tornado. We got an S-shaped looking set of blocks. This is almost symmetrical. I wonder if there's any real difference besides... Yes, well, the level layout is symmetrical, but the blocks are not symmetrical. So that's the clear issue. I suppose what's interesting is that to get each of these to their goal, they both have to be atop one single block plus a double block. The question is, can I do any replacing? So can I be the one to push things up? I think the answer is no. Because to do so, I have to replace a block by pushing it off. And I think that's just not possible along the side. So the end goal eventually... Okay. The end goal eventually should look like... Well, I think we know what the angle looks like. Just how to get there. I suppose this is interesting. Is it interesting? I mean, I would think so. It's kind of like what we're doing here as well. But here we definitely get things stuck. Okay, if I tried this setup over here, things also get a bit stuck. But this gets this block stuck, which just scares me a little bit. It's almost like I need to do like a really big shuffle. Yeah, big shuffle. Maybe that's what tornado means. I mean, this is kind of a shuffle, but I wouldn't really call this a shuffle. This is a bit awkward. But it might work if I was resilient enough to keep trying. Okay. So apparently the goal looks like it is to do this, right? Because if I were below the blue arrow and I could push it upwards and then already get there. But that involves maybe playing around with this block for a little bit. Pushing against the corner is bad. Okay. So what if I did it here? So here, this one gets me stuck. However, I do know that theoretically it is not considered being pushed in the corner. Even if I did this, because I can get here and do stuff with it. I think there's a bit of a problem though. Okay, so I think what I would have preferred to happen is to already separate these two blocks beforehand, so that I can sneak inside and push this set of 3 out. Like so. So this gets 1 arrow. Does this get the other arrow? It looks unlikely. Either we need an extra step or the other arrow is in fact gone. And I can't put the arrow above this block currently because it's too tall. And then this gap is only 1 tall. But the question is, maybe I can change that fact. Maybe there is some way to Like, I was thinking perhaps I could do this, but this definitely gets things stuck as well. Kind of, but not really, because I can do this sort of thing. And the idea is that, well, I can actually also do this. I think we're done. No, are we done? We're done on this side, I think. Well, are we done on this side? We might need a bit more help here. In particular, getting this blue arrow out of the way. Because I do want to push you over and then get to the other side to be able to push this block up. But this is a much nicer group of blocks to handle, I think. Okay. Do I want to do this? It's a bit iffy. I suppose this is almost fine. The only issue is that it is too high up. I can't get in to push the blue arrow out. So this should have been fine. I think it is. Yeah, okay. We can set this up very well. There you go. Nice. Cool. Okay. Level 9. Sweeper. Okay. Now what in the world are we doing here? What in the world are we doing here? It says sweeper, but what does that mean exactly? Well, if I had something like this happen... do I want this? I think I want this. I'm gonna drop that first. The way I can do it is I can move you over, push you to one side, and then move you back down. I think that's what they mean by sweeper. So like, I use this sweeper to push a set, and I come in, get the other set, and I push out. That seems right. How many sets can I realistically make though? Also, like, if I did this, it just falls, and I feel like that's bad. I need to balance you on the sweeper. Actually, I think this is better, right? Yeah, this is definitely better for a first step. Question is, does this let me work with a second step? Not quite. However, if I moved you guys over, I can repeat that step. There you go. Nice, so this block is also acting like a bridge now. Yeah, I think this also works. Hold on, I had to be on this side to finish this step. Yes, okay, I think we're done. That was very simple. Bring you here. Yeah, I think this works. I can shift this set up, move this block up, and push everything in. Okay, I grasped that particularly well. That's nice. Two-lane road. Two-lane road. Okay. We're only working with arrows now. This looks fun, but probably wrong. This looks a little better. This looks maybe okay. Ooh, no, I still have to hold it up, I see. This looks maybe okay. If I can separate you guys... This is bad. This is also equally bad. Okay. If I went this way instead, we get the same result. We get the same result, but we do get a pushable set. Are these sets all pushable? These are all pushable sets. I see. Maybe a different stack is required. Maybe something like this is necessary. Right? I put the double stack near the double arrows. Seems right. Slightly less right. Okay, I think I want it the other way around. Because it looks like right now I'm only getting this double stack here. Yeah, so I want it the other way around. So I wanted it like this. I think? Is that true? It looks kind of awkward, but I think so. I don't know. The idea is I can push this left and I can push this right. That gets these two kind of stuck. I'm not sure if that was useful or not, or if that was good or not. If I put an arrow down there to hold things up, maybe that's fine. In fact, I think it not really is. Yeah, I kind of wanted this triple stack to be on the other side so I can do something like this. But the triple stack is naturally not on, it's on the wrong side. Okay, so I feel like it's just one arrow here then. So push left, push right. Oh, but if this happens, okay, interesting. The push left, push right method doesn't work because that ends up with this arrow not being part of the right stack. It ends up with one of the two arrows being in the wrong spot. So I think I have to... Like, this stack of 3 here that I've just created has to align with one of the 3 arrows in one of the 3 goals. Which means this was technically okay, right? But why didn't this work? I don't know. Okay. This prevents the push left, push right method. I think I sort of see why. Okay. So I think I wanted to transfer here. So I can use a push left, push right method here. Do I really want to do that? I don't know if I want to do that. This looks very scary. This doesn't look right. Yeah. Hold on, the triple stack... Wait, how did a triple stack work again? Where did the triple stack go? Like, ideally? Ideally, a triple stack is on the middle goal. Right. Okay, if that's the case, then... Let's try and set up a triple stack somewhere good. What about push like that? That's a triple stack in the middle goal. That's not great. Okay, what if I did this? That puts this arrow in a very bad spot. Triple stack also seems... Wait, why did I want to do that again? I wanted a triple stack here, right? But then I figured out that this was... Oh, I don't know why this is not good, but it looks like it isn't. We got 2 triple stacks, but each triple stack is in the... One of the triple stacks is in the wrong spot. Okay. Yeah, we want an arrow here generally. The other arrow... I don't quite know. Like, this looks okay, but then you just get this triple stack here, which, you know, pushing the purple away breaks the bottom row. And trying to solve the top row, I feel like is a problem. You'll eventually get a setup where this one and this one are both empty. In which case, you get like a standoff-ish type of thing. Yeah, you get this standoff, where how in the world are you going to satisfy one of both of them? You can only satisfy one by pushing away the other. If that's the case, then like that on either side won't work because you're always going to have the 2 arrows in different spots, which means that yeah, it doesn't matter which side you're on. What if I immediately started with a triple stack? That's just triple stack in the wrong spot, but does that solve it? Can we solve a triple stack in the wrong spot? I think that's is not yes. Because we get this other thing. Yeah. It's not possible. Okay. So, alright. What is our final setup. Let me see if I can figure out a question that can help me solve this. The question is, the final step has to do something very special, but what is it that the final step has to do? Because the final step is most likely to dislodge a standoff between two arrows, right? You'll always end up with two arrows standing off as your final step. And we'll just ignore this for now. And the goal is to break that, right? This looks like the best option because it places the two arrows that are standing off into valid positions. So if we were to follow that logic, or if we were to use that as maybe a way to get into the right place, that standoff has to happen in this exact row, where I then separate the two by pushing one of the arrows towards the right into the goal along the edge, and the other one in the middle goal. That then means that for one arrow, for both arrows actually, you have to separate the two arrows. You cannot have these two arrows be together, because in none of these situations, in neither direction, will the two arrows be adjacent to each other. This looks good. Yep, okay, I think I see it. Oh, hold on. Well, this almost looks good. As you can see, we have these two in a good position, but I mean, all the arrows are also separated. Can we get this to be on this side? This looks... no, wait, hold on. I did it by doing this, which means I can pull off the same shape by doing this. I think that's it. That's it. No. Because we wanted one of these sides to be empty. If this were here, then this must be empty. Okay. So this arrow was not in the right spot. That's... well, if this arrow is here, then this arrow must be empty. I don't want to double. How about that? You get two standoffs. Two standoffs seems bad. But it's almost like I can do this sort of thing. That's not really that useful to me, I don't think. It's like a standoff, but not quite a standoff. Okay. What about something like this? A double arrow like that can work. Can. You will get this to happen, which looks almost good actually. So can I set this up on the other side by flipping the board around? Meaning rather than doing it with purple, I do it with red. So I do this. So what I did with purple was I did this and I let red fall. I do this and I let red fall now. I can separate them by doing this thing. And then... wait, no, but these two are on the same side now. That's not good. Okay, so... okay, here... here these are on the same side, which is okay. But when you flip it, these two arrows will be on this side, which is not okay. I see. So mirroring is not right either. Pushing away the middle seems bad. I mean, you'll definitely get this sort of situation eventually. Yeah, you get two standoffs, and two standoffs is never good. So I sort of want this, but not really. Yeah, two standoffs is not good. I need exactly one standoff. How do I get two arrows to be in this spot and this spot? I mean, for red it looks like this. It's actually really easy to pull off if you do it on this side. On the other side it's a lot harder though, I would think. Yeah, I think it's a lot harder on the other side if I flip the entire setup around. For the reason that this will force this to be used. Because I have to push like this. Meaning that this arrow can't be here. What if I did this? Ooh, wait a minute, that's the exact same setup. But now an arrow is on the left side instead of the right. Which looks a lot better to me. That is because... well... It's a standoff, but it's an unbalanced standoff. I want one arrow to already be either here or here. And right now it doesn't seem like that either is accomplishable. How did I accomplish that? By doing... no. This doesn't work. No. No. Okay. How do I get these two and these two again? I did this. Did I do that? I did do this. Oh, right, and then this allowed this to happen. If I flipped on the other side, it would be... what would it look like? It would look like this. Okay. Which means that it will be this and this, I see. Which is bad, okay. Okay, what if I did this though? Because this lets me pull off the same trick, but instead of having an arrow on either left or right side, I can actually make it be in the middle. Which drastically changes things, I hope. Well, does it? Because how would I get something over here now? Would it have been possible? I mean, kind of, yes. No. Yeah, not really. Okay, what if I could sandwich... I want to eventually go to like this, right? So like, I sort of want to sandwich a purple in between these two arrows. Is that possible? I think that's not a yes. If I could do this, put an arrow here. It's a lot harder than I thought. The sandwich a purple arrow. I suppose one way I would have to do it is by having a triple first, followed by one squish in the middle. So almost like... ooh, that's not good. Nope. That's very bad actually. It works for you, but not for you up there. Like, this fails. This would fail as well. But this is a valid sandwich. Not that valid because you get stuck up there, but it's technically a valid sandwich. I mean, I would say that this is a valid sandwich, but is it really a valid sandwich? Actually, yeah, I think it is. Well, I just set that up. Wait, what? What did I do? I tried to make a sandwich. That sandwich sort of fell apart. Like a piece of bread just fell off, but then it worked out. So this is what I wanted? So it's an arrow from here. And then you go here. A fake sandwich has to form. And then it works out. Miraculously. So pushing right, we solve the puzzle. What? Alright, sure. Insane. Okay, let's do one more. Upright. We do have one up and one right. This puzzle is deceptively simple. But we're definitely missing something here. Pushing any of these, that causes instant failure, right? Yes, unless this block helps hold things up. I think I want you here. This allows this setup to be here, and I can basically shift you around. I think it's a very interesting trick that I could show off, which I think does not look like that. That's not good at all. I mean, I can keep going, but at some point it shouldn't really work anymore. I want to sort of push this up by a bit, but... Okay. Do I stand here? I think the answer is no. Because if I had to stand here to lift up a red, I have to replace a block. Or a green. Ah, but can I lift green up? The idea is that if green were here and I were here, red was here, I could theoretically lift up green and then hold these two in place with my own body. But how do I even get into that situation in the first place? If green were here and I lifted it up from here, I would need to have replaced a block in this position, which I think is impossible. Because I just can't do that. You can't replace a block in the corner. So no. Okay. Meaning the block does it, right? This setup looks very interesting. Can I re-obtain that setup here? Sort of. It's like I want to do this and then shift over to the left. I mean right. But I can't push right here. So I can try doing this, but also it's impossible because these two are now stuck. Okay. 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 This is bad. This feels very elephanty. Elephanty? I don't know if elephant is out at this point. I think it is. It should be. Elephant. Maybe not. No, most definitely yes. I'm not entirely sure. Alright, well, you'll know what I mean when I say elephanty. Okay. Looks like what I saw of one right now is to do this. Is that a good setup? That looks like a really bad setup, actually. I mean, it gets me in the same place, and like, this doesn't help. What's the vision? How do I get this set up here? Like, I want maybe a block here, green arrow here, and a red arrow here. Then push it to the right. For that, well, I basically want what I did. I want this setup, but down by one. But that clearly doesn't work in this case. Yeah. However, I think the idea is that I can almost sort of like maneuver this thing around if I wish to. Not really. See, this arrow is pointing up here. So this block is very important at this position. Which means it's quite unlikely that I can move anything here. I think we're stuck. That is unless by some miracle... Could green have... Ah, what about this? That's a move. Now the reason why I wanted to do that is because it gets green a bit higher in relation to red's direction. Why do I want that? Not quite sure. It just sets this up, but I think we're also equally stuck at this point. Or it could be that two arrows fall and then clash. Arrow here and here? How do you hold both of those up? I don't think it's possible to hold both of those up. If you hold one of them up and let it fall, the other have to fall at the exact same time. How would that happen? I don't think it's possible. Yeah, I realized that this was a valid move as well. Actually, no, this is invalid, right? Almost valid, but no. This block will have to be one higher for this move to be valid. And after that, it stops becoming valid already. No, that's bad. This is the only one that works in this case. This gets us as close as possible. This is not failure yet. No, but I'm just moving backwards at this point, right? Yeah. Oh, what the heck? Oh, wait, you can dislodge the block by doing that. Wait, okay, that's a new technique. Which means I could have dislodged the block around... Wait, how did I do it again? It was, at this point, what I did was... I went here and here. Okay. If I want to do it here, I will go here and here. Yeah, and this gets a stable thing to happen. Which actually means that if I did it here... Isn't this also technically kind of stable? Yeah, that's it. Okay. I'm gonna skip 12 right now, I don't think we have time for that. But I did want to say that this is also doable in the other way, I think. So if I set this up like this, pushing you up would work, but so would pushing this way, right? Yeah, you guys catch each other either way. Nice. Cool, that was a very nice trick. Alright, that leaves this last level, which I think looks like a monster, so I'm going to leave this to next episode, and we'll see what I can do then. So yeah, until next time, hope you guys enjoyed the video. See you guys next time. Bye bye.